And this is the Life with Shine podcast, season 2. And I am loving the flow of this podcast because this podcast is really eye opening. Because as you guys know, I love to talk about life, love, and business and how I am currently navigating things in my life, love, and business and what it's looking like currently. So, right now, there is a stillness, there is a quietness, there is a calmness that I am currently experiencing in my work, in my business, and in my life that I just have to kind of just really appreciate and take the time to truly acknowledge it because truly there is power in stillness and calmness and just in the presence of just being present and being aware and just navigating things in such a way that feels very lighthearted. And so right now I feel like there are some things that I really want to really, upgrade in my brand, in my business, in my words, in my messaging, and in the way that I am articulating what my brand knowledge is coming for. So right now, this is a beautiful time of year. We're currently in December, in the middle of the month, and I just feel like this time is just a time for us to reflect. I've already prepared and planned for 2026, even up to 2029 is what I'm currently working on. And even thought about reflecting into 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now and what that will look like and what I envision for myself. And so, as I appreciate this stillness or this time to self reflect, I feel that there's something more that I need to be doing because, again, there's more clients that I want to have, there's more that I want to obtain financially, and I believe that it's all coming together, just the ideas, just the concept, just the way. And this is a part of it as well because I'm able to bring it to light. I'm able to shed light on the parts of my business that I feel needs more growth and being transparent about it. Because a lot of times when we are doing something and we do it frequently, we're so close knitted or close related to it that we can't really see what is bubbling underneath. And so this time I feel is important to just kind of really acknowledge the true feelings that I have. And that is the only way to move things forward. Being able to acknowledge where I am and then being able to accept more responsibility. More responsibility is where you get to experience more level or deeper levels of growth. And I believe that the more that we move things forward in our business, create, the more we write, the more we speak, the more we share, the more we build that compounding effect and the impact. And so a lot of things are really being revealed. Even now, I have an idea on something, but it's yet not to fruition. And holding the vision, right? And this is what I kind of want to speak about, being able to hold the vision on where we are in life and what we want for our life, being able to be honest about where we are and how we can actually improve in certain areas and what we can improve in. This takes a lot of accountability and self awareness because you have to be aware of what is actually going on, what is actually happening, what is actually working, and what is actually becoming, right? And as we move forward, that's when we get those answers. That's when we're able to connect the dots on, know, do this, focus on this, and you would see this grow, or you would see this manifest, or you would see this evolve. And I believe that I've been doing business in a very similar way. And so, if I'm being completely honest with myself, what I'm really feeling is just this desire or this need for something to be different, for something to be done differently, for something to be presented differently, or for something to be said differently. And when you're always really chasing that next thing of like what would be the exciting thing in business, then it kind of can feel like you're feeling connected to something that is birthing underneath the surface, that wants to be brought forth, but yet hasn't fully manifested, or that hasn't really fully evolved to completion for you to bring words to it. But as I think about it, this podcast allows that level of reflection, just for me to share, just for me to connect with you guys, just for me to really, correlate to where you currently are. What energy are you feeling? Because, at the very core of me, I am an energy guide. And I feel things very deeply. And so I like to be mindful of what it is that is also something that maybe is experienced on a collective level, not just personally, but just on a level that says that we are evolving in some way. So I do feel that there is something happening, whether that's planetary, or whether that's something that maybe is shifting in the collective consciousness, or just in the way that we are actually approaching or doing business. I feel that something new is coming, something new is being birthed, something new is bubbling and ready to be revealed. And so as we prepare ourselves for holding space for that to come, this is where we get to acknowledge, you know, what changes can be made in our business, but in our lives fully. Like, what in our lives is needing to be, transformed. And so, as I think about these things, I really want to really encourage you guys to know that it is all working out, and to encourage you to keep going no matter what, and to keep showing up no matter what, and to, stay encouraged and stay inspired to, really execute on your ideas, and to share more of what you feel is true and authentic for you, because you will be surprised at how many other people can relate to it. You will be surprised at how many other people can share in those same sentiments, in those same feelings, and those same thoughts, and who are really trying their best to break through to the next level, who's really trying their best to do something that feels meaningful and that feels like, it's your purpose work, right? I talk a lot about purpose because, again, being able to fulfill your purpose, to, fulfill your fullest potential, that takes an everyday commitment. It's a commitment to your growth, to your walk, to your development, to your understanding, to you being the best version of you that you can be. And so the best thing you can do is to do what feels right for you, that to do what feels aligned for you, to do what you feel is calling for you to do, even deep down in your heart, what your heart is feeling aligned to, your desire. And so if you know that you want to build your business, you want to build your clientele, then the only way to do that is to continue to share your content, talk to more people, connect with more people, share what you have going on, talk about your offers, talk about your trainings and your programs and the things that you're running and that you're actually doing, because that is the evidence. That is the proof. And so when you lean heavily on what is, and then allow yourself to, approach it with a new mindset, with a renewed way of thinking about it, then it makes it that much more exciting. So a lot of this stuff, guys, is just really repetition, and really just you showing yourself that you're capable. And I believe that when you believe in yourself, right? When you can believe in yourself and what you're doing in your work, what you're talking about, what you're speaking about, what you're bringing forth, when you believe in it wholeheartedly, like when you're connected with it on a deeper level. And when I say wholeheartedly, I mean really truly connected with your message, with your brand, with your offers. That can be felt. That can be really felt on a energetic level, on a frequency level, because you are the frequency. You hold the frequency. You are the one that's going to, you know, shed light on things that are hiding in the shadows, that needs to be revealed, that needs to be brought forth. And so your commitment to your journey, to your path, to your walk, to your authenticity, to your self-expression is going to be the key. If you know that you need to, you know, tell people and invite people into your work, tell them about it, then do it. It's just that simple. So these are some of the things that I feel, that can help you guys to really, just say, hey, okay, I'm on the right path. I'm on the right track. I'm thinking forward. I'm moving forward. And and I'm also acknowledging the presence, my presence, being present, and that my presence is enough. My presence is a gift. And that gift is always going to give, because when you're present in your life, in your love, and in your business, you get to see things that moves things forward in the smallest ways, in the biggest ways, every single day. And so there's a lot to be said when it comes to us building our brand, building our business, building our mindset, because guys, I'm telling you, building a business is a lot of work. It is a lot of work, and you got to know where you're headed. You got to know your direction. You got to know your plan. You got to know your strategy, and you got to stick with it. You got to stick with it until it comes. And to me, there's a lot of it that feels like there's a lot of empty space that needs to be filled, but that's where you got to fill that up with more people. And that's really the answer. More people expands your ideas. It expands the way you see the world. It expands the way you're approaching something. And so one thing that I lean heavily on, especially during this time, is other coaches and mentors who are doing something that I want to learn from, who are sharing things that I want to get new concepts on, and new ideas and new information on. It's about putting yourself in those rooms, putting yourself in those spaces, putting yourself in those opportunities. When you surround yourself with like-minded people, you grow, you evolve, you develop. And so that's what a lot of my soul is yearning for. It's just more mentorship, more depth, more conversations around what's possible. And when you do that, when you put yourself in a room that are people who are also successful, who are also other coaches, or those who are also running businesses, and who are, really looking for the answers, it helps you to really get new insight. And so I encourage you guys to think about, are you showing up in those spaces? Are you learning? Are you listening? Are you growing? Are you evolving? Are you putting yourself in the rooms that are going to help you expand? Because that is where the gold is. That is where your next level lies. that is where the next ideas are, and that's where you're going to connect the dots. So that's what I had to share today, guys, and that's what's on my heart, and that's what I wanted you guys to know. So I hope this lands for you guys and encourage you guys to keep moving forward, keep growing, keep going, and don't stop. Keep shining your light, because that's where you're going to be shine the brightest. All right? This is your girl, Coach Shine. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Until next time, take care.